National Cabinet's decision on NDIS investment is heartbreaking. Let me be very clear about this. The federal government want to reduce costs in the NDIS, they've picked a target number, and states and territories have been asked to agree to a target without discussion on the number that Commonwealth picked, let alone how the federal government's magic spending target will be achieved. I cannot possibly support this. When people with disability can't get their needs met because NDIS are reducing costs, those needs don't go away. It just means more pressure on the rest of our health and social services and education systems, or more importantly, people simply won't get their needs met. The language I've seen from the federal Labor government today may as well have come from the previous government. What's the point of a Labor government that just does the same thing as Scott Morrison? Framing the NDIS as a cost burden is offensive and wrong. The NDIS provides critical and life-changing support to many people with disability. It also just happens to employ over 270,000 people, and for every dollar spent in the NDIS, $2.25 is returned to the economy. There will be very real impacts for the lives of people in the ACT if there's a ramping up of the cost cutting we've seen in the NDIS over the past few years. After the last decade of ACT being a Commonwealth partner in the NDIS and seeing cuts to plans and pressure to reduce participant numbers, we know what is happening here. After everything people with disability and their carers have been through in recent years with the NDIS, federal government should know better than to say, "Trust us, it'll be fine," while slapping the disability community with an arbitrary target to NDIS spending. We all agree that the NDIS needs to change to meet objectives of choice and control and address flaws and inefficiencies in the system. Much of this relates to Tier 2 supports that states, including ACT, thought were going to be in the NDIS, and they never eventuated. We are working hard to re-establish some of those programs out of the ACT budget now because we know they deliver the outcomes that people with disability have been asking for. There is also the independent review of the NDIS occurring, and that review will tell us a lot about what needs to change. You build a better NDIS by genuinely engaging with your partners and community. That hasn't happened here. The disability community deserve better than this.